Okay, here's another practice exam question for the BC. Question 2B. You'll have 15 minutes to complete this problem plus 5 minutes to upload. Okay, so here's the graph. Okay, here's a graph, the graph of f prime. So this one's f prime. I'm going to circle this so I remember. That's f prime. Oops, I am in highlighter. Writing in a regular pen would definitely be a good idea. The graph of f prime, the derivative of the differential function, consists of 5 linear segments. Okay, so they're all lines. And a semicircle. Okay, so here's my semicircle. And it's shown in the figure above. So this looks like 2, 2, 2. Okay. And functions are defined on the closed interval. It is known that f of 6 equals negative 1. Find the minimum value for f. Okay, so how do I find a minimum value for f? I take the derivative. I have no equation though, so I guess I'll just make a number line. I like to have bounds on my number line. You know, I might make my number line over here. I don't know if I'd want to make it over here, or maybe I'd rather make it exactly under, like I just did, but under here. Okay, so it lines up with the problem above. Okay, so this is negative 5. Now, I want a number line for f prime. I need to know where f prime equals 0 or undefined. Right? I'm going to make a number line, and then I'm going to analyze the signs. So negative 5, the slope is positive until negative 2. And then the slope is negative until 0. Now it's still negative, but right here, technically it's undefined. And it's undefined here, so those do need to go on the number line. And then minus again, slope here is 0. And then the slope is positive until 4. And then its sharp slope is negative until 5. Slope is positive until 7. Slope is negative until 10. Okay, 10. So then it's positive, negative, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. Okay. I'm thinking if I was worried about time, I don't know, I might not finish this question right here. I think I would go on to the next question. Okay, so because there's so many possibilities for the minimum value. So my minimum values would be potentially, up, down, down, down. Okay, here. Oops, I probably don't want to use blue highlighter. I probably want to use this highlighter. So let me use the yellow highlighter. So down, that's a below. Oh, maybe negative 5 is a low, 5 is a low, and 10 is a low. So I got to figure out which one's the lowest. So I don't know, that seems to be a lot of, So that's why I'm thinking maybe I would pass on this question and go to another part of the question first. Okay, so I need to calculate what f of negative 5 is. I need to calculate what f of 2 is, what f of 5 is, and what f of 10 is. Okay, so I know f of 6 is negative 1. Okay, so f of 6 right here is negative 1. So let me base them all on that one. Okay, so f of 5 is going to be, so the way the formula goes, I'm just going to write it in general, is f of b is f of a plus the integral from a to b of f prime of x. Now usually I like to go in the same order, but I think for this one I'm just going to set them up this way. So this would be f of 6, because that's the only one I know, plus the integral from 6 at the bottom to negative 5, which is a little disturbing to me because it's backwards, of f prime of x dx. And then f of 2 would be f of 6 plus this integral. So it seems like the minimum value is only going to have the impact of what the integral is, because those f of 6's are always going to be the same. So in fact, I don't even need to know what those f of 6's are. I basically just need to know all this. The only problem is, except I need to do the correct bounds. So 6 to negative 5, this would be 6 to 2. This would be 6 to 5, and it's very strange that they're backwards. This is f of, and there's another way to do it without backwards, but this is the way I'm going to do it for the moment. Okay, so this is 6 to 10. Oh, that one's forward. Okay, so that would be the integrals. So f of 6 is the same in all cases, so really what my focus is, okay, is my focus is just to look at this part, these integrals, and whichever integral is the lowest is going to be the answer. So I'm going to start with 10 to 6. So 6 to 10, it already says it the way it is, so 6 to 10 looks like it's a big positive area. Oops, can I actually find the real amount? I feel like I can find the real amount, the actual amount, by a triangle and another triangle. So I could actually calculate this one, but I don't know. I think this one's going to be high because this is going to be a positive. This is going to be a big positive. So I'm thinking 6 to 5. Okay, that would be backwards though. So that would be f of 6 plus 5 to 6 of f prime of x. Okay. So 5 to 6, oh, but negative, right? Don't we have to switch the sign here? So that would be a minus. So 5 to 6. So 5 to 6 would be negative. So 5 to 6 is negative. So negative, that's what? A triangle. Negative for the below. Negative for the negative. And then I'm going to leave this f of 6. And then this is times 6 to 5 would be times negative 1/2 times 1 wide and 1 2 deep. So who's bigger so far? This is now plus a positive, but I think that area is bigger because over here, and I'm looking for the smaller area, so this one's not smaller. So 6 to 2, this is minus 2 to 6 of f prime of x dx. And 2 to 6 looks like negative, negative, a bunch of negative area. So that's going to be minus, and then a negative large number, right? So that's going to end up being more because I'm looking for the minimum. So I would say not this one. And then let's say this one is negative 5 to 6. Oh, negative 5 to 6. That one might be smaller. So negative 5 to 6, but I got to flip it around. So this is f of 6 minus negative 5 to 6 f prime of x. I think I'll make the next video not on the paper. So this is very small. It's not working very well. Okay, so what's the area from there? So I would either draw an arrow if I didn't have any space so that I want to show what it was. So this area would be what? 3, 3. So that's 1/2, 3 times 3. And then this is, the next section is 1/2, 2 times 3. And then minus, because it's negative, that's a semicircle, so that would be 1/2, 1/2 pi r squared. R is 2. So this would be 2 pi minus, that's a 3, that's a 4.5. So this would be 7.5. I would definitely want to have my calculator handy. So hopefully your calculator's out. My calculator's on my phone, but it's not handy, so that's not good for timing-wise. You really want to be prepared when you're about to take the test. Okay, so this is pi, and this is 1.217. They like 3 decimal places. So this would be minus that. And this one was a plus, actually. So I would say this one is smaller. Now they said find the minimum value. So this is the minimum value. It's funny because I feel like a little panicked because it's 8 minutes, right? And it's like, wait a minute, 8 minutes, but I only have 15. Oh, but there's only 3 sections. Okay, so that's not too bad. I like Euler. Let me jump to Euler. This seems okay though. No, let me do B. So G prime, this seems like a multiple choice question. So that's cosine of 3 minus f prime of x times f negative f double prime of x, if the derivative of the inside. And then I want G prime of 6, so that's cosine of 3 minus f prime of 6 times negative f double prime of 6. Okay, now f prime of 6, that's the f prime graph, so f prime of 6 is actually the y value. And this is the slope of f prime. So hopefully that's a line. So at 6 right here, the y value is 0, and the slope is rise 2, run 1. So this is rise 2, run 1, and this I said was 0. So cosine of 3 times negative 2. So that would be the answer to that one. Okay, that was like short. Okay, remember when I was saying A seemed like it was going to take a long time? But we don't know how many points each one is worth, so I'm sure A is worth more points too, but you could have at least knocked off the points for B and C maybe. Okay, you don't have to go in order. This is not making me solve it. Look at this crazy looking thing. H is 6, use Euler's method. Okay, I like to do Euler's method in a chart. And 2 steps of equal size, that's not too bad. So that's x equals 5. 2 sides of equal to approximate 3. Oh, that's weird. So I have to go backwards. So delta x is -1. Oh, that's weird. That's kind of cool. Very interesting. Okay, so h of 5 is 6. And then when you do this setup, except I think I may make things a little too long, this is the answer right here. You do not finish this row. Okay, so I just need to know the m. And then after I find the m, I do m times delta x, or delta x written like that. And then I need my new y value. So this is my plan, and I believe my chart is a little bit too long. Okay, so let's see how this works. So this is what's dy dx, which is the slope, at 5, 6. So that would be 6 minus f prime of at 5 over 5. So f prime of 5 on an f graph is the y value. So this is the y value. So this is 6 minus, okay, what's the y value at 5? The y value at 5 is -2. So -2 over 5. So this would be 8 over 5. So this would be, 8 over 5, that's 1.6. I could do that on my calculator. Okay, so slope is 1.6. Delta x is -1. So that's, I'm going to shove that in a little better here. So that is -1. So that's -1.6. And the old y was 6. And then I need to add the new y. Oh, except let's do the calculation, right? So what is, oh no, that's true, isn't it? Oh no, that's true. This is a terrible estimate. Okay, so this is negative, so that's correct. And that would be, I guess I should use my calculator. I think it's 4.4, but I might as well be safe. So minus 1.6 is 4.4. So this is 4.4, and then carry that down to here. Okay, so dy dx is 6 minus f prime of 4.4. Interesting. Over 4.4. Equals. Okay, 4.4. How am I going to know that for 4.4? Oh, dang. Okay, well, that's a line. 4, 0, and 5, -2. Okay, so we have the line 4, 0, and 5, -2. Did I make an error? I don't see an error. I'll look back at an error later. Okay, who cares about the error? Let's just get to the problem. So this is a line between 4, 0, and 5, -2. And then I need to plug 4.4 into the line. So I'm thinking, let me just use this method. Okay, so this would be y minus 0 equals m times x minus 4. And what's the m between those 2 points? That would be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I think they did say that you wouldn't necessarily be able to finish all the questions. That's kind of how I feel right now for you guys. M is -2, so y minus 0 equals -2x minus 4, and then I want to plug in 4.4. So -2, 4.4 minus 4. Oh, it feels right maybe. -2 times 0.4, which is -0.8. Okay, so that would be the slope. That's actually f prime of 4.4 because it's a line. So that would be 6 minus -0.8 over 4.4. Okay, definitely I'm using my calculator at this point. Okay, so 6 plus 0.8 and then divided by 4.4 is, I'm going to change to a fraction, is 17 over 11. We'll have to check with the answer, see if I did it right. Okay, and then that's 17 over 11 times -1, which is -17 over 11. So it would be 4.4 minus 17 over 11, which I can do on my calculator. 4.4 minus 17 over 11 is 2.8545. Okay, so 2.854554. I could change that into a fraction. Okay, which is 157 over 55. Or I would round it to 2.855. Or you could truncate in BC, which means you could also put 2.854 and just cut off after the 4. That's allowed too. So any of those 3 answers would be right. 15, I'm over. So anyway, that's it. And then you would upload. So you're going to need to be speedy. So be speedy, okay? But don't be panicked. Okay, try not to panic. Okay, so last time I forgot to do page 2, so that's why I was so fast. I was looking at practice test 3, which seems like it's only this one new question, but it's not even a new question because it's, anyway, it's this one. Okay, so let me finish this one for you. It says evaluate, looks like the speed. Oh, explain the meaning. Oh yeah, the meaning is the speed. So this is the speed in here. And the integral of the speed is the total distance. So total distance equals, once I find it out, and it will be in meters per second, so it'll be meters. From t equals 0 to t equals 10 seconds. Okay, now how do I do an absolute value of a graph? Okay, so I flip it over. So I flip these over here, and then I flip this one over, and then those other ones stay the same. Okay, so I need the integral from 0 all the way to 10, so I need these areas. Okay, so this is a semicircle. So that one is going to be, this is going to be 1/2 pi r squared, r is 2 squared, plus the next section is, I could just do one big triangle. So that would be 1/2, 2 times 2, plus, so that's the area all the way from 4 to 6. And then the area from 6 to 10, oh, I guess that's one triangle. I kind of think of it as 2 triangles, but I guess we might as well do one triangle. One triangle, and its base is from 6 to 10, so that's 4, and its height is 2. So this would be 2 pi plus 2 plus 4, so 6 plus 2 pi. So 6 plus 2 pi meters would be the total distance, and then this would be the answer. Okay, and the last part, write a third-degree Taylor polynomial about 6. Okay, so k prime would be 2 minus Leibniz, so substitute in the top bound times the derivative of the top bound minus substitute in the bottom bound times the derivative of the bottom bound. So that's 2 minus f of x, k prime of x. K double prime, I need a what, third degree, so I need another derivative. 0 minus f prime of x. And then k triple prime will be negative f double prime of x. The official way to write that one would be k, and the third derivative is written like that. Negative f double prime of x. Okay, and then I need to substitute in 6. Okay, so I need a k of 6. I need k prime of 6. I need k double prime of 6. I need the third derivative of 6. So let's see. So this one is 2 minus f of 6. This one, k prime. Oh no, sorry, that was k prime. Let me erase that one. Okay, so that one is 2 minus f of 6. K double prime is negative f prime of 6, and k triple prime is negative f double prime of 6. Concavity, slope, y value. Okay, and k of 6, I have to substitute in the integral. So 2 times 6, 6 to 6. Oh, nice. I love that. So there's 6 to 6, so 12 minus 0, because if the bounds are the same, the answer is 0. So that's 12. This one is 2 minus f of 6. Okay, f of 6 is the y value at 6, and the y value at 6 is 0. So that's 2. Negative, this would be slope at 6. Slope at 6 right here looks like it's rise 2, run 1, because it's a line. So rise 2, run 1, so that's negative 2. And then the second derivative, usually you don't know the second derivative, so at that spot, f of x is a line, Okay, that's at x equals 6. So the first derivative would be m, and the second derivative would be 0. So this would be negative 0. Okay, and then they want the third degree Taylor polynomial. So that would be P3 of x would be k of 0. Oh no, 6. They want 6 this time, not like for the other question. K of 6 plus k prime of 6, x minus 6 to the first over 1 factorial, plus k double prime of 6, x minus 6 to the second over 2 factorial. So funny in the other video. I was all slow. I was like, oh look, I finished early. Yeah, check if there's more problems. Okay, so 12 plus, I'll tie these two videos together though, so you only really see this is the end. But in reality, I never did the second page, so that's why at the end of the video I was like, oh, I have so much time. And then this video will be added on. Oops, here I am again. Okay, so 0 x minus 6 cubed over 3 factorial. So anyway, it's interesting it doesn't turn out to be third degree according to my calculations here, unless I made a mistake, which is possible. But I will be able to check my answers now that I finished all the questions.